India pushes for the China Plus strategy, becoming Atmanirbhar, making India a hub for defense exports, which is being backed by change in policy, whether it is FDI since the Modi government came to power, to setting up hubs here in a hub and spoke model. So we're going to be talking about the defense stocks as well as the defense sector at large. Joining us now live is Mr. Dinesh Kumar Batra, the Director of Finance at BEL. We're also being joined live by Harshit Kapadia, Vice President for Elara Securities. I'll begin my conversation first with Mr. Batra, who's got skin in the game. And can I first begin by asking you, you've seen a lot of efforts recently by the government. It began in 2014 with the changes in FDI norms, but to the recent award and conversation about 78,000 crore rupee kind of defense type order that we've seen across the Army and the Navy and the Air Force. Let's begin our conversation by talking about the opportunity that you're seeing when it comes to defense manufacturing.
Potential for BEL is very huge. In fact, I would like to be modest. So over the next 5 years, I am having a clear visibility of something around 50,000 crores worth of orders, which must happen to BEL. In fact, if I calculate my potential, it's around 1 lakh crore. But taking all factors into account, some 50,000 crores worth of orders will be happening for BEL in next 5 years. So it's going good. Also, when this positive indigenization and there are a GFR restrictions that more than 200 crores you cannot import without taking the no objection. So the ecosystem is developing in the country. And the customers earlier who were having some preference over on the import over the whatever was available in the country. So not only the industry is developing, the 2-tier, 3-tier suppliers, they are also developing. And company like BEL who are already having the infrastructure in place, so they will be getting benefited in a big details.
Okay, so you're seeing this as a big opportunity. We'll get more specific into the plans later on in the conversation. I'd like to invite Harshit on board. So Harshit, we're talking about what? A 20% CAGR when it comes to defense. How sustainable, how possible is that really going to be? Because we're still seeing, commodity prices, supply chain issues at play.
Yeah, hi, good morning. So certainly defense has now defense industry has come to a stand where we are going to see influx of growth, one driven by indigenization and second is on the export side. A 20% CAGR is certainly visible to us in terms of order inflows, and then possibly given the PSUs are the first benefit, they are going to see a strong execution as well. And the push which government is doing for the private sector as well, the run rate could even be much higher for the private defense industry.
For our viewers who are stock market investors, if they are trying to understand that how can they benefit from this mega trend, is it a good time to, let's say, make a basket of top 3 PSU defense companies, Mazgaon, Dockyard, BEL, even BML, just make a basket of these 2-3 stocks?
Certainly. So when we look at the way government is developing its strategy, the defense PSUs are the first set of benefit, and some of the names which you rightly pointed out, Bharat Electronics, we also like Hindustan Aeronautics, Bharat Dynamics, and even GRSC in this space is what we are trying to push as a basket of defense PSUs, and then followed by the private industry.
Some of the defense PSUs, even after the recent rise, because pre-COVID, the stock price of BEL was 70-80 rupees. Mazgaon shipyard in this market is almost at a new high. Anything which has got two things in common, PSU and a prefix or a suffix defense, that stock is at a new high.
Absolutely. So even at this level, because we have a very strong order inflow opportunity, both on domestic side and something which was unexplored till now was the exports of defense goods. So that is also opening up extremely well for these defense PSU sets. Hence, we are preferring this stock even at these high levels.
Right. Also, I wanted to understand because from reports that, the pie of indigenized procurement has scaled up to 65% from the earlier 50% just a few years back, as we understand. Going forward, what could be the domestic pie and where is it that you see it growing to?
Though think that I'm not competent to make exact analysis on this, but to just give you an hint, the very recently, I think few days back, there was 76,000 crores worth of A1 were given. So there were the corvettes and the FCVs and the Dorniers and all those in fact, forklifts, etc. So many of these things might be happening earlier import. Now it's a totally indigenous. So big platforms now coming to the Indian platform manufacturers. But exactly in what proportion and all that, I will not be having a data.
Sure.
For the industry itself, but so far BL is concerned, I can give you some insight into that.
Harshit, it all always boils down to stocks, right? So just wanted to understand within this limited space, now growing, of course, what's the pecking order of your favorite bets?
So my pecking order is starting first by the defense PSUs because of the indigenization list which has come off. The first set of beneficiaries will be the defense PSUs because they are the platform integrators. And this will be followed by the component and subsystem makers, which are largely your small and mid-cap private defense companies. So just to give names, we like Bharat Dynamics, Hindustan Aeronautics, and GRSC, followed by Bharat Electronics as our pick within the defense PSU space, and within the private space, we like Data Patterns.
Just a quick heads up for all of our viewers, when we discuss this mega trend for defense, we will also be joined by Paris Defense in a few minutes from now. And Mr. Batra, taking forward the conversation where you're talking about this big opportunity that now exists even for a company like yours, give us a sense of how things are changing. We've seen that indigenization order of 76,000 crores from the government. FDI rules have been changed. But on ground, are you, for example, now seeing more queries from foreign players? Would they be interested in exports from India?
Yes, in fact, if you see the last year itself, as the offset obligation discharged by the Airbus, we got the largest export order of 93 million USD for C295 for our avionics package. So far BL is concerned, we are booking the orders in the larger proportion than the previous year. This year, we have visibility of some 150 million USD order to come in. And our order book at the moment, it's some 296 million USD. So more and more the foreign OEMs for their, not only for offset obligation, but even otherwise, like last year, some US OEMs for their, they were contacting us and they signed MOU with us for their contract manufacturing, like drone deck systems and then Hyperion IoTs, and the Triton company, which wanted us to make the batteries for them. So yes, the movement has started, and more the export potentials will be materialized. So far BL is concerned, and BL is also developing its infrastructure and the ecosystem for making more exports. We are expanding geographically. We are going in the South Asian countries and the Africa continent and the Latin America. We are opening our offices there. So yes, we are on the move to increase our exports.
Hang in there, gentlemen. As we discuss this mega trend, we are being joined by yet one more company, Paris Defense, where Mr. Amit Mahajan, the director of the company, now live with us. Good morning, Mr. Mahajan. We're discussing the mega trend of defense, where we recently saw indigenization orders worth 76,000 crores from the government. We're talking about how, of course, this is positive for defense PSUs. But coming specifically to Paris Defense, you're also looking at a big pie when it comes to the 6 lakh crore rupee procurement order from the government that's going to be over the next couple of years. But tell me, for all that is expected for this procurement, what kind of products, what kind of equipment do you already manufacture? What all will you be in the reckoning for?
Perfect. Good morning, and firstly, thank you for having me on the show. Yes, the glorious days for defense, like I've been mentioning over the past few interviews, is there, and the momentum is only increasing. Paras Defense, the strongest product line of Paras Defense is optics, and we are going very strong when it comes to defense optics and optics for space applications. So this being one of our front leading spearheading vertical, there are multiple opportunities in this area which is opening up. We being where we are in as positioned in this space, we are slated for huge opportunities on the optical side. Apart from optics, what is gaining momentum is also the defense electronics. Now these indigenization programs, when you say a lot of electronics was being imported earlier, now when indigenization impetus is increasing, the electronic business is also huge, and the electronic companies, the companies who are developing electronics for defense and space, are limited, and hence everybody, all the companies have so much of on their plate, so much of business on their plate, that it's looking amazing.
Sure. Amit, let's put numbers to it, because I'm sure your shareholders and our viewers would be interested in that. We're looking at a current order book right now. Where is it that you expect it to grow going forward? And not today, tomorrow, I'm talking about the next 2 to 3, 5 years. Because as I understand, it was 600 crore rupees and it had already doubled on a year-on-year basis.
Yes. So the order book has been doubling in the past 3 to 4 years, if you look at the history. And the trend is expected to continue. We are also expected to give a revenue which is handsome. Last year we clocked about 28% better than the previous one, and this year we should be able to. We are targeting about 40 to 50% better than the last year. So the order book is going to go handsome. The order book is the trend should continue, that it should go 50%, if not double, every year. I should be very conservative when I'm saying this, and I'm looking at the same translation into revenues from our company.
Mr. Batra, if I could get you in here, since we're talking with about numbers, you also have guided for a margin profile of about 21 to 23%. How confident are you of achieving this, given that raw material challenges, you just alluded to?
It's not only possible, I'm very optimistic on this. Had these problems not been there, we could have even surpassed those. So 22 to 23, in fact, I'm taking all the variability which may take place, I'm giving you the guidance of 21 to 23, but I'm very optimistic that 22 to 23 we should be able to achieve. And as the whole team is focusing on to bring down the material consumption and other way to increase the gross margin, so 100 to 200 BPS points. So that thing under control, the margins have to become better.
And India started its dreams of becoming a big global defense hub before the Russian-Ukrainian war. It started talking about it, actually, to be fair, even before COVID. In 2014 is when you really started to see policy changes that also took place. Now, if the world doesn't want Russian oil, Russian gold, I would imagine they would also not want Russian defense equipment, right? How can India seize this moment? Is it starting to seize that moment?
So India, whether Russia or Ukraine, whatever happens in that geopolitical region, India is one of the top 3 consumers of defense technology worldwide. So India was already a very big and significant market for any foreign company to build their strategies on. Now, when you yourself have inherently so much of business to offer to the world, everybody looks at building their business strategies in and around the policies which happen in the country. And this Make in India kind of policies, what is happening is the global companies are looking to build up their space and their manufacturing base in India. Now this what happens is this multiplies and becomes a snowball effect into something that we can become a global manufacturing hub over the period of time. This happens the moment you start collaborating with foreign companies, the moment you start taking technologies from the government and building products based on that, and then building products for all the requirements related to Indian defense, which earlier used to get imported. This will increase your capability, your quality will become world class, and then the whole world becomes your market.
The whole world can become a market. We have started to see, big push towards defense manufacturing in India, whether, it's a big Tata order, Rajnath Singh going to Lucknow for the inauguration of a defense hub. It's all happening. So let's see how it pans out. This is being seen as a big mega trend. I'd like to thank all our three guests for joining us live this Monday morning.